Today, we're going to figure out which them orcs is going to be best at crumping them humies. The JoyToy Ork Nob or the McFarlane Ork MegaNob. We shall settle the score now.
Welcome back. This is Spruce and Studs, and yet today we're going to be doing another inevitable comparison between the two gigantic action figure makers, JoyToy versus McFarlane. We're going to be settling this issue, which is better, through a calculated grudge match. No, just kidding. We're going to be evaluating these two action figures on the same criteria that I evaluated the Chaos Space Marines. So what are we going to be evaluating? Paint quality, paint color, posability, armaments, and finally, general orkiness. Now, I know that the Nob and the MegaNob is comparing almost like apples to oranges, but since McFarlane has yet to do a regular Nob and JoyToy has yet to do a MegaNob, this is the best comparison that we can possibly do. Again, people may get in a hizzy because of this comparison video, but keep in mind, this is just supposed to be lighthearted, and obviously there is presenter bias on that one. So without further ado, let's jump into the comparison video. All right, folks, as you can see over here, we have the JoyToy Nob on our left-hand side and then the McFarlane MegaNob on our right-hand side. And so the first thing that we're going to be evaluating is the paint quality. Now, I'm not going to go into huge depth and detail with regards to the paint quality. It's just generally going to be a kind of glossing over things in general. But if you want the in-depth detail with regards to the paint quality of each and every single one of these action figures, I did individually review them. So you can go in and watch those two separate videos if you wanted an in-depth look. Looking at the paint quality of these action figures right here, I can honestly say that McFarlane action figure, for example, let's push the JoyToy one out of the way, you get some uneven painting and shading over here. So you have shading going on with the face as well as the arms and stuff over here. There's a deep green, and then it gradually goes to a lighter green on these surfaces. However, in this area, McFarlane action figure completely missed over here, so it looks kind of odd. You have this shaded and highlighted area around this, but it's missed over here. But in general, the painting is, like I said, of ORKY style. It is literally all over the place with the dry brushing haphazardly put on, but that's just how orcs are supposed to be. Now, if you take a look at the JoyToy one, the painting actually looks to be fairly smooth in general in terms of the skin, and you also get this issue where the painting was missed over here. So with these steel-toed boots, you would think that this area would be a silver color, but it is actually missed. If it's a true steel-toe boot, then this black area should be silver, so that's a miss on JoyToy's part. But in terms of the rest of the paint quality, the highlights are a bit all over the place on the jacket as well as the pants. It's messy, like just again how orcs are supposed to be. When you're looking at the musculature on the JoyToy action figure, everything seems to be a lot more smooth rather than this modeled kind of look over here. So despite all the issues appear on these action figures, I would have to say I give the paint quality to JoyToy just because their skin just looks a lot smoother and more blended than the McFarlane action figure, which looks pretty rough. So right now the score is 1-0 JoyToy. Now the second thing that we're going to be evaluating is the color scheme. Now let's start off with the McFarlane one. I do actually like the color scheme a lot on the McFarlane one. You have prominent messy dry brushing for the silver parts over here, and then obviously the green color for the skin is very, very accurate to how orcs are supposed to look. And then you have vibrant reds for this icon over here, and a vibrant red over here as well. The green is also very vibrant, which I really like. And then the steel type of look, again, matches the rest of this action figure really well. Now, looking at the JoyToy action figure, I kind of get the same cool looking vibe. The green is more of an olive tone, but it definitely does flow with the rest of the action figure. You have vibrant reds here in the slugga, as well as the backpack. And then you have the silver tones and bronze tones that you find with the power claw and the slugga as well. So in my opinion, in terms of the paint color and paint choices that these action figure companies used, I can't exactly pick which one is my favorite. I like both of the color schemes quite a lot. So you know what? We'll call it giving points to both action figure companies. So the score now is 2-1 JoyToy. The third and probably the most crucial category is posability. What do I think about the posability of each and every single one of these action figures? So let's take a look at the JoyToy one first. You have a lot of movement that you can make with the head. It goes back and forth a little bit laterally. You can look up and you can look down. So there's a lot of movement that's involved. Same thing with the arms. It is very well articulated. He's got almost like this double jointed elbow. It can extend out to here, and then you can move it literally across the body. So there's a lot of posability here. One thing I'm going to ding JoyToy on is the lack of posability of the power claw here. I like how the top of the power claw, you're able to move back and forth, but this is a very fixed area. One knock against the JoyToy one is that it doesn't have a lot of motion here, mainly because it's restricted by this bandolier / belt action. So you're not getting the full 360-degree movement that you would want in an action figure, so that's definitely a ding. And then the legs are very, very movable down here. So in terms of the McFarlane one, you have very, very limited range of motion with the head. This is about it. So you're not getting a lot of motion here at all. The arms are very restricted as well on the McFarlane action figure by this pin. So you're not able to get a lot of movement here in the arms. One thing I do like about this action figure is that this claw, you're able to open up fully like this. So that is definitely an improvement, or this is definitely something that McFarlane does better than JoyToy. With just the torso area, it's also a 360-degree motion, which is, again, better than JoyToy in that aspect. And then finally, the legs are super restricted in their motion as well. You're not able to get a lot of motion. So in terms of posability, I will have to give it to the JoyToy action figure. So that is 3-1 to JoyToy. Okay, taking a look at the armaments. Let's see what's going on with them. So the MegaNob has the power claw. It's a very sweet looking weapon over here, and it's very well detailed. And then he's got the combi Shuda, and I really like the different dings and scrapes that you find on this Shuda. And both of these weapons that this MegaNob is wielding represents orcs very, very well. And then obviously over here you've got the same power claw on this knob, so it's super orky as well. You got that same damage that you find here, and it's pretty much equal to this. The slug is really cool looking as well, and it's super clean. In all honesty, in terms of armaments, they both look really good, and I will both give them points because of the armaments are exactly what you would find on an orc. It is super awesome and orky at the same time. So right now, the score is 4-2 JoyToy. And the next and final category is a super subjective category that I decided to put in there, and it's just orkiness. Like, how much orkiness can you possibly put in an action figure to make it super orky? Look at this. For the McFarlane one, you've definitely got these teeth right here. This toothy grin, this scarred tissue over here, and you've got this haphazard painting job. You have this orc iconography in the front. Same thing with the backpack. More iconography here, here, and here. And everything just looks like crude and slapdash, exactly like you would want an orc to be. The JoyToy one, you know what, to be honest, is the same thing to me. You have the toothy grin over here, the different veins as well, and then you've got scar tissue running along over here, a power claw that is built into the flesh and tissue of the orc. The iconography, you have this orky looking belt, orky looking slugger here. So I can't actually make a call which one is better. So you know what? Me being the generous content creator, ORKINESS, I'll have to give it to them both. So it looks like, folks, we have an unprecedented sweep by the JoyToy action figure over here on the left-hand side. It looks as if it has scored all 5 points that it could possibly score, whereas the McFarlane won 3 points. But either way, both of these action figures are really strong showings from both companies. So I do sincerely hope that they keep it up and that we would still continue to have these lovely comparison videos. So let me wrap it up with my final thoughts. All right, folks, it looks like the JoyToy action figure has come out on top yet again, and this time in the comparison. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of things that I liked about the McFarlane action figure over here, and obviously there were way more things that I liked about the JoyToy action figure. So we have finally figured out
which orc is better at crumping them Yumis.
And I'm very well aware that this is a super subjective comparison videos, and everybody has something to say with regards to things. So you may say, Spruce, you know what? I completely disagree with you with the McFarlane orc. I think that the paint quality is better on the McFarlane one than the JoyToy one. You don't know what the heck you're talking about. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just a regular human being. I may not know what I'm talking about. So I'm curious, folks, did the results of this comparison video really surprise you? Or you're probably like, oh yeah, Spruce is totally a JoyToy fanboy, so of course he's going to pick JoyToy to win. And maybe in future videos, you can suggest to me, hey, maybe you should take a look at this a little bit more, or you can compare this as well. I'm open to your thoughts and what you think on how I can possibly improve these types of videos. But regardless, I do hope you enjoyed this one, and there's going to be obviously more comparison videos that come along, just as long as JoyToy and McFarlane actually make action figures that are pretty similar to each other. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support. And as usual, I'll see you all in the next one.